Leslie's Lessons. So, this is a continuation of my other podcast that I really felt called to share with someone. And you're never thinking about, oh, this is a podcast moment when you're going through things. But I just wanted to add more to it. Unfortunately, sometimes the biggest lessons come through adversity. In fact, I think that's how it's set up. And my previous podcast, The Inner Green Light, when your soul says so, I felt like I still had more to share. And I didn't want to hold back. I didn't want to set this up where I'm villainizing people because I feel like even people with bad intentions, um, they are not the main source. They're not the main thing I believe you take away from obstacles or things that happen in your life. And in my previous podcast, I was telling you how I got this bartender job and it was quite toxic. And it was very disrespectful. And the person that I worked with, we had the same name. And she made it abundantly clear after exchanging small pleasantries that you are not welcome here. Um, And we don't need to go into her reasons why or everything like that or how bad it really got, but it got really bad and it never got better. And if I was a different type of person, that would have just made my ego just go, ha ha, look at what I can do to you. But for where I am in life and the new chapters I'm entering without my mom in the flesh, it's like, and so many new things happening. I don't have time for that energy, you know? I don't have time for that energy. I don't have time to play up into people's insecurities and stuff like that. And it just came to me today. At first I was going to say, oh, watch out for these booby traps, and these jobs and everything. But I think the bigger lesson that that I got, it was so many lessons because what happened was she started a smear campaign because I could tell, and I wasn't even there that long, but I definitely made an impact. Um, the guests loved me. I got along great with the managers, but there was no compromise with the people that I would have to work with daily. And it just was uncomfortable. It wasn't something that at this point in my life I was ready to compromise. I don't compromise peace. I just don't. And I started seeing the signs. I am the type of person where I will observe, and you can tell me all day, you're a great person. You can tell me all day, or position yourself as a fun loving person who doesn't like drama and it's all about teamwork, but I'll watch the way you move. Now, granted, people make mistakes and they have things going on. I'm just not at that place to nurture wounds that were there before me. I'm no longer at the space where, you know, we let's just make room for this and no, because there are people who live this life that they're highly criticized for, they call them selfish. They say they're self absorbed and all these things. But guess what? They go to bed at night not thinking about other people's problems. They are at peace and focus on what they want, what they desire, and they are locked into that. And while they may get a bad rap for, oh, you could have been nicer to this person, who are we living for? I literally have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose, and neither do you. What are we going to lose? Someone's approval who likes you about 80%? Someone who tolerates you? Someone who's friends with you or needs you for pure convenience? You never know the true motives. And I'm not saying to be paranoid and, you know, scope everyone out. I'm just saying it's just exhausting living that way. It's just exhausting trying to carry this load of focusing on you. And then you're thinking about this scenario and that scenario and how it will affect all these moving parts. And you are not designed to do that. Society would like you to think that you need to do that in order to be accepted. But when you are not signing up or subscribing to pleasing people, you will know that that does nothing for you. That's how I feel about that. And it just came to me today. Man, you could have been making some good tips. Granted, this pays some bills and everything, but you're an artist, you do all these things. When are you going to put that first? In a perfect world, it would be right now. Forget this balance and trying to do things, but you do the best. But I do believe that energetically, the universe needs to know where you want to put your attention. So, as much as it would seem like a smart plan to do both, have a regular job and pursue your dreams on the side, at some point you have to say, you know what? This is what I desire, whatever it is. This is what I desire. This is what makes me happy. And I feel that because we have so many responsibilities, because we might feel like we're on the other side of life or we're just tied, to commitments that just cannot be broken, or are hard to break, we don't allow ourselves just to say out loud what we really want, what we really deserve, what we really desire. I know because I wasn't giving myself permission. I did everything I wanted to do. Oh, let me do this. Let me write this book. Let me do that, and let me just, keep this union job. But I did not give myself permission as I'm giving myself permission in this current season. I want that. I deserve it. I'm not making apologies for it. If I had it up to me right now, I wouldn't do this. I would just do that and be happy. And sometimes you just have to say that and be at peace with it and let the universe get to work. I know society teaches us that we must, we must say a prayer, we must focus, we must write it down. I just encourage people that we also have to do things that might not make sense to other people. We have to do things that might not make sense to ourselves. We have to take a leap, and understand that everything is not designed to be perfect when you take that leap. It may look like you have now gone down the wrong road, but in fact, it's setting you up for something that when you look back weeks, months later, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that, but I knew this was going to work out. And that's the best part. And, you know, not a lot of people could say, I knew it was going to work out because the road is hard. It's not for the weak. It is not for someone who thinks that life is just going to say, okay, here's the playbook. Just do this and just do that, and you're going to be fine and set up for success. And that's just not how it always works. They're the
All right. We're going to pause here. Stay tuned for part 2 of this inner green light message because I'm just getting started.